I recognize the presence of our honorable leader and a former chief minister and a man who has brought in substantial change in the lives of the farmers and life of the people of this state. Sri B.S. Yedirapaji, Sri C.S. Ashok Narayan, my esteemed colleague in higher education, Sri C.C. Patil, another esteemed colleague who is looking after PWD, Sri Prabhakar Koreji, who is the president of KLE institutions and man who has built KLE society brick by brick. And now he has more than 500 institutions under his belt. A great achievement. And a former Raj Sabha member, man in public life for more than 30 years. My dear friend Ashok Dalwai, a retired IAS officer who is from Orissa, but he has got the imagination of our Honorable Prime Minister. And now is the CEO of National Red Fed Area Authority and chairman empowered body doubling farmers' income. And he is guiding us in setting up a directorate, secondary directorate in agriculture. Sri Ramchandra Gaud, Vice Chancellor, Kiturani Chennamma, Sri Basavaraj Bommai, Vice President, Indian Geography Conference, and dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and delegates from different countries, and media friends. I am really very happy indeed that you people are meeting here in Belgaum, in Karnataka, which is one of the most progressive states in the country, and deliberating on the climatic change, sustainable growth, and that impacts the geographical conditioning of our very world which we live in, as well as the lives of the people. It has become very, very imperative that certain specific agendas are to be set up by this conference. It is not just meeting of delegates and deliberating some issues. A specific agenda has to be set up for the governments and the society, so that your theme of climatic change and sustainable growth and water resources, management of water resources. Keeping this in mind, if you can set up certain specific agendas to the government and society, then this conference is worth it. Nowadays, conferences are just for meeting of people who have not met for a long time. That should not happen. I might sound a little off the place, but this is a hard truth I've been observing. Because you are all experts who have put in 2 decades, 3 decades in this subject. And if you can contribute, there is nothing like it. Who else can contribute? Therefore, each person has got his own experience. Each places has got its own experience. Each country has got its own experience. And sharing of these experiences and moderating them and bring the best of practices where the challenges are met with ease, without much efforts, where a common man, along with his continuing into his daily duties, it can be adopted easily in his lifestyle, then there will be a long way of sustainable growth. Having said this, coming to your first subject, climatic change. Climatic change is on. I think there is no point in discussing that. It's on. Only way is how to control it, how to regulate it, and how to make best use of even the climatic change. Convert this calamity into opportunity. That should be the subject. People started with carbon imprint, but in early stages, lot of countries said that we have calculated the carbon imprint and we are becoming net zero carbon and all those things. Ultimately, no country had a very definitive calibration of carbon imprints. Many people made huge money in that, but the world is where it is. It is there to be seen. We should ponder on this. A definitive calibration of carbon imprint is the challenge thrown into this conference. If you don't deliberate on this, which is a basis of climatic change, then I think nothing much can be expected. The second thing is, climatic change is happening for a long time, but it has been noticed very recent past. And the effect of this climatic change is such that the drought areas have been converted into deserts. We have got vast desert-prone districts all over the country. The second indicator is the rivers are not reaching the mouth of the sea. A lot of perennial rivers have become a seasonal river, and that those seasonal rivers also are not reaching the mouth of the sea. This is the greatest danger. If the river doesn't reach the mouth of the sea, then the water cycle is not complete. And if the water cycle is not complete, certainly there will be no rainfall, and if there is no rainfall, deserts are formed. Therefore, the management of water is a very important thing. All these years, 75 years of our independence, we have concentrated in augmentation of our water. We want to stop the water, store the water, use it. We are building big dams, big projects. But nobody has thought the management of water. In Karnataka, because of overuse of water, 4.5 lakh hectare of area has been converted into a salination area because of excess use of water, and there is no way for the water to go. There is a water locking. And because of water locking, the salts which are down below has come up, water salination has taken place, and the land which was so fertile for agriculture, after spending so much of money on irrigation schemes, we are spoiling the very land. So we are investing our money in spoiling our land. So when our honorable leader Yediyurappa ji was the chief minister, we took up a project of desalination of the whole land, and more than 1.5 lakh hectares we are able to recover it by making main drains and subsurface drains and letting out the water to go. And that water can be reused back for industrial and irrigation purposes. So man-made disaster is there. This is because we are very much confused, or we don't want to know. Water belongs to whom? Water belongs to a person, water belongs to a community, water belongs to a state or a country. Water belongs to whom? The fundamental issue is not being addressed. An individual thinks that it belongs to him. The society thinks it belongs to them. And the state thinks it belongs to them. But ultimately nobody wants it up. Only they use it. There has to be very clear-cut identification that water belongs to whom. And is water problem a local problem or a global problem? These questions are not answered very clearly. The third question is water tradable or not? These are the certain fundamental questions has to be addressed. If there is a clarity on this, then the policy will be such a policies where the sustainable growth will be there and the water resource will be a real asset for the sustainable growth. Therefore, there are a lot of such fundamental issues nobody has deliberated. Even water experts are not deliberated on this. These questions were asked in the international forum, but they were not answered squarely. So somebody has to put up his mind, go back into the history of a mankind, human race, how it started, and what is its relation with the natural resources, man and natural resources. There's a beautiful relation. Man can enhance the natural resources even after consuming. But the methodology we are using regarding consuming the natural resources, unfortunately, is not such that forget enhancing, will not even sustain it. Therefore, it's very closely related to the life of a human being, lifestyle of the human beings, and that has to be changed. If you don't do this, what happens? Whatever the natural resources have been passed by our forefathers to us, which we are enjoying now, it will not be there for our children. That means we are stealing from the future. Literally, unscientific use of natural resources is equal to stealing from the future. Think about it. Hence, policy making should be very scientific, very practical, and very close to the nature. Nature generates, regenerates, it recycles. Whatever the nitrogen fixation, whatever the carbon fixations we do in the soil, it yield to the better vegetation. Nature has got its own beautiful policy. If we are in tune with the nature policy, nothing can go wrong. Now the question is, what are our needs? How much are our needs? Is the real economic development is the right kind of economic development? Ecology and economics should go hand in hand. Economics has overtaken ecology, but it can't go any further. It is like the race between hare and a rabbit. It has gone ahead, but it has to stop there. It has to take a rest there. Therefore, eco-economics is the answer for this. Eco-economics. The deterioration of ecology, as per one study, whatever has deteriorated in 2000 years, now this will be deteriorated in just 100 years. Last 2000, what deterioration was there? Next 100 years, it is going to be deteriorated. This is the rate of deterioration this takes. We have to arrest it. Therefore, eco-economics is the answer for it. Anything we do, it should have that balance where ecology is not disturbed, where it becomes irreparable. And recycling, reusing should be the key word. Secondly, all the government should have a policy. We have policies, we got education policy, health policy, everything we have. We don't have an ecological policy. We have got a forest department which only looks after the present forest. and most of the forests are now becoming dry lands. Therefore, we should have ecological policy. All governments should have ecological policy. That's why in this budget, I have created an ecological policy. I have given ecological funding. Whatever the ecological deficit is there, whatever the ecological deficit it happens in the last year, it should be fulfilled in the next year by eco budgeting. I have done eco budgeting, green budgeting. I have kept 100 crores other than the regular programs to see that ecological deterioration is arrested. It is made good. I can go on like this, but you people are there and our honorable leaders are also here. I just wanted to express certain deep concerns what we have. And one thing about human beings, I just want to tell you, reiterate, that we have seen lot of species where they were larger than human beings, 10 times larger, 20 times larger, dinosaurs, other things. There are species which are much more, can run faster, more agility, more mobility is there. But they didn't sustain long. Human being is the longest living species, and he is going to live longer, and probably he is the last species where the world will end with him. Laya, Shiva's Laya. Now, to look into this, why this sustainability is there? It is because human beings' character of adaptability. Man can adapt in Sahara Desert, 45 degrees centigrade. Man can live in minus 40 degrees in polar region. Man can live in forest, man can live in a hut, man can live in a mansion because of his adaptability conditioning. And this adaptability conditioning has been more misused than the real use. So if somebody can devise a thing where adaptability should be a virtue, which is God given, and adaptability should be the way of life, and adapt the nature also, not only get adaptable himself, adapt the nature also, then there's a great future. Geography is directly connected with climate change. Geography will decide the sustainable growth too. Geography will decide on the water resources. The borewells what we have dug, 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet. The strata geographically what you call the crust and below the crust has come up now. So it has got a direct connection with geography. So to look into the sustainable growth and effect of climatic change and maintaining the water resources to geography will also can open up a window which hitherto has not been done by any of the universities. So use this Congress of Geography and create a very nice window to look into the climatic changes, maintenance of water resources and sustainable growth. Geography can be a eye-opener, geography can be a catalyst, and the whole geography is at your command. Thank you.